back. I'm with Kathleen and Gerhard, Vital Signs Consulting, the confidence to be your own brand, and it's really great chatting to you about this. I guess, what are the next steps for people, Kathleen? They go, okay, I want it. They make that decision and go, I can see this is it is the new economy, I think, using your words. What's that next step for them? What process do they now start to go through with you?
Yeah. Well, I think to discover your brand, it's often useful to have someone who doesn't know you well begin to ask you a couple of key questions, because often what we're really good at, or what we do very easily and naturally, because it comes so naturally, we don't really necessarily think of it as being special. It's just who I am. You know, we don't really
how many times we heard that?
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah, so often to have someone ask some key questions,
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't know you well, is a really good way to start discovering what you're really all about. And often we'll go back and ask questions, a little like you did, about, your childhood. So, what were you known for? Different kids in the neighbourhood were known for different things. What were you known for? Because often, those traits start really early in life.
Yeah.
It's also really useful to be speaking to family and friends and finding out, what really stands out for them about you. And then I'd say definitely in terms of social media, where our generation probably has to work a little harder, starting to have a look at people that you admire and how they present themselves.
Yes.
Is a good idea as well.
Do you find, Gerhard, that it takes a little bit of courage just to trust and be yourself? Do you think that's one of the difficult steps in this, to be able to go, okay, this is what I really am like?
I think because of social media and the pressure out there, a lot of people are scared to be themselves. Because of bullying, people are scared of social media, just the negative experience.
Yes.
And once you get branded, those things go away, because people start to admire you. But it is that initial step to get that self-confidence,
Yes.
to say, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, and take the first steps.
It's interesting that one of the techniques I was taught very early on was just to journal what you were doing, and it was interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine just a few months ago, and he said, I can't believe you came out of the military, you ran a cleaning company, then you had a computer company, then you had a book publishing company, then you had a building company, now you're in the media. He goes, what are you? And you know what? I said, I'm a marketing guy.
Yes.
Everything else is just superficial. I just do marketing, so it doesn't matter what you give me, I just market that.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to actually understand what I actually was at the heart of it. Do you find journaling and having coaches reflect it back at you uncovers something that might just be blindingly obvious to everyone else, but yourself, you're going, I don't know?
Yeah, I think we did an exercise with our coaches, and we just started writing stuff down on the whiteboard.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, and then as it came, it actually became very clear.
Yeah,
exactly.
Pattern.
This pattern, who we are.
Out of nowhere, well, for us. I think that's the thing, for the person going through it, it's all kind of just a drama in your head. It's very hard to get a cohesive pattern out of it. And when you're chatting to a coach or you're journaling, things actually start falling into a pattern that you probably wouldn't have seen if you weren't going through the process of journaling. Or using a soundboard or a whiteboard.
Yeah, I know what you mean about when you go around here. You convince yourself one, then next minute you talk yourself out of it. You're going, I don't know
Absolutely.
anymore. I'm so confused.
And a confused mind usually just gets stuck, and it's really hard to get yourself unstuck.
Oh, it's impossible, because you just go, this is madness.
But also what we've seen is sometimes we start talking to people, and as they talk, they get the answer. And then afterwards they say, thank you so much, you helped me. But I didn't say anything. It's just because they got it out of the system, they put it down, they heard themselves, and the answer comes to them. We need to trust our gut.
It's interesting. Well, trust your gut, I think, is very interesting. I know it's a hallmark of yours. But writing, you both said writing it down, and you reflected then hearing what you're saying. Do you think that gives you the advantage when you talk to someone? All of a sudden you slow down your speech a little bit and saying, what did I just say? Or you challenge me, you say, what did you mean by that? And these are types of techniques. I'm not going to say psychology, but it almost is in a form.
Well, I think in some ways, neurologically, when you're actually saying it out loud yourself,
Right.
That's very different to a dialogue going on in your own head. It really is.
Yes. But for example, for me, is I will go running on a Saturday or Sunday. And because I'm outside, you smell the ocean and you feel the sun and you hear the birds. And suddenly I get all these ideas. And it's because your brain and the neurons are just starting to firing up.
Right.
So for me, if I get stuck, I just go running. And afterwards I have all these good ideas. But sitting at home in your office, not seeing the outside, you're in a box. So going out, experiencing something different. I mean, how many times did you go to the shop and you had this problem in your head, and as you go down the shopping, you say, there's the answer.
Yes.
It's because you're out doing something different.
Unfortunately, it's normally 2 a.m. and all
Exactly.
How many times have you done that?
Yeah.
Where's my journal?
Yeah. And that's why I sleep with a notebook next to my bed.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it? You say when you speak it out loud, you have to. Everyone will tell you can't give a good keynote by practicing in your head. You actually have to walk and talk it.
Absolutely.
Is this kind of the same methodology or physiology that you're speaking, you're moving, that's allowing your brain to say, okay, I know I've got to articulate it, because it just won't make any sense to you guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it is the same process, and I think also, we're talking about confidence, but often once you're able to articulate it in a way that another person understands and they get it, that really increases your confidence as well. Because up until that point, it was just this kind of random thought in your head, but to have somebody else validate it and get what you're saying really increases confidence as well.
But also sometimes as I talk, you can see that aha moment.
Yeah.
You can just see the light goes on.
Yes.
I've got it. And that gives me the self-confidence.
Yes.
To say, this is who I want to be. This is who I am.
That's a really important part. I mean, that one you just said then, this is who I want to be. And we hear, how many times do we hear the 80-year-olds and the 90-year-olds in the nursing home saying, stop living other people's lives. You've only got one goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got to do it now, because
Yes.
you don't know how long you've got. And you were here. And I truly believe everyone has a gift.
Oh, yes.
I believe everyone has got a gift and a purpose. And they've just got to find what it is, and their life becomes so fulfilled, it's incredible.
Yeah.
When you find someone who just says to you, I have no idea. Someone now, they've gone through uni, Dad said become a scientist, or an engineer, and they're going, what did I do this for? And they're sitting and they are totally lost. They come to you and they sit with you and they say, Gerhard, Kathleen, look, I am absolutely lost on this. How do you help them find that within them, what they truly are? I know it's difficult.
Yeah. Look, I think one of the things as coaches that we're always very mindful of is just also that we are coaches and we're not therapists. So sometimes we also have to have a look and see, is there actually something else going on? Because sometimes there may actually be some low-grade depression. If somebody just genuinely is not particularly interested or passionate in anything.
In anything, yes.
Then there may be another issue going on there. But usually once you get talking to a person, I think what you've got to do something called sort of divergent and convergent thinking, because what we are is we're conditioned in a way to be logical.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we start talking about what do you want to do for a living, we now start thinking left brain logical, and so it has to be something that can earn money. But the economy is changing, so if we can say, look, no judgment, tell me what you're passionate about. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yep.
And we can get them talking. As Gerhard was saying, you'll often have that moment where you can see somebody's eyes light up, and then once you know what the passions are, you can then start converging and going, okay, well, building sandcastles might be something we can turn, depending on where you live and how good you are at it, might be something we can turn into a revenue stream. Or, okay, you don't live by the beach, there isn't any sand, there isn't a market for sandcastles. what else can we do with that passion? But I think it's very important to sort of take those logical constraints away, because in a way we are our own worst enemies. We put boundaries on ourselves that really shouldn't be there.
Yes.
So that would probably be our starting point.
I will just reflect, before we take a break, I will just reflect on something you said I thought was very interesting, Gerhard. You talk about going running and changing your physiology of your body to actually get answers, or just to free your mind. Is this something you can find within people to say, the way I sit, the way I move, if we can change that and hey, just get out and just enjoy the moment. Is that important for people to get away from their own environment to go into something else?
Yeah, it's so important. Since we started doing this running, and I must please state, I hate running.
It's a love-hate relationship.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Every week.
Hate doing it, love it when you love it. Yes.
But since we started doing that, we start to eat better. You know, because you eat better, your gut and your brain is related. So what you feed, goes to the brain.
Yes.
So we started to eat better, so we feel better. We get better ideas. So it's not only, it's sometimes something small that you change,
Yes.
but having a huge effect on your life.
I love that. Something small, huge effect. Let's take a break and don't go anywhere, because we're going to come back with more with Kathleen and Gerhard. Vital Signs Consulting, giving you the confidence to be your own brand, which really is, in Kathleen's words, the new economy.